Hello guys, sorry for being late, guys, but I just need to do something quickly. But now it's done. So yeah, man, this is the second stream for a long time, and today this is gonna be me rating the players, the manager, the season, the owners, everybody who's involved in this club. So yeah, let's get this out the way, guys. I'm going to be rating these players, manager, everyone at this club. I'm going to give them fair rating. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to have to be honest. So yeah, let's start with the goalkeepers. So, Alisson, for me, Alisson, he gets 9. 9 out of 10 for Alisson. Best player. And I'm gonna announce that he's been our best player. He's been our best player for the season. Imagine your goalkeeper has been your best player. Catching that. It's just not a good sign. None of the outfield players deserve higher score than Alisson this season. Let's be honest, Alisson saved us again this season. He stepped up again. So because of that, he gets a 9. For me, best player. Best player of the season. Kelleher. Kelleher hardly played any games, though. That's the thing. I'm not going to give a rating to him because I don't think he played enough games to even get a rating. So I can't even rate Kelleher. Next, and the last goalkeeper we have is Adrian. I don't think he played a game as well, so I'm not going to give him a rating. It's just pointless because he not enough games. In fact, he hasn't even played a game, I think, for Liverpool. So Adrian gets no rating from me. All right, I think that is all the goalkeepers. Here's defenders. Let's start with the right back position. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Even though for the last 8 games he was an inverted fullback, but before he played at right back, especially in the first half of the season. And I have to say, Trent has stepped up in the second half of the season, but the first half of the season, I thought he was. In that first half of the season, I thought he was our worst player in the first half. Not for the entire season. You know who's been our worst player this season. But in terms of the first half of the season, he has been our worst player in the first half of the season. But the second half of the season, he has stepped up. To be fair, he has stepped up. Before he was inverted fullback, he was still pretty good defensively in the second half of the season. And because of that, 5 or 6, I can't give him any higher than that. He's definitely not a 7 for me. I'm rating him by the whole season, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and for me, I'm going to give him a. It's between a 5 or 6. It's one of those two. You know what? I'm going to give him a 5. I hated his performance in the first half of the season. I can't lie. I thought he was absolutely shocking in the first half of the season. He was getting rinsed left, right, and centre all the time in the first half of the season. I thought he was absolutely terrible, but he stepped up, so that's why I'm only going to give him a 5. So yeah, 5 out of 10. I think Ramsey, he only played 1 game, and that was the game that we beat Napoli 2-0 in the group stage game. Since then, he hasn't played a game, so I can't give him a rating. I can't give Callum Ramsey a rating at all. Joe Gomez, I'm sorry, even though he did play at right back in one time, but for me, for the whole season, Joe Gomez gets a 3. 3 out of 10 for Joe Gomez, man. Absolutely terrible. He's been shocking. But again, as much I didn't like his performance on this season, but again, he has. But at least he has not been our worst player, even though he's been trash. But there's other players who have been worse, have been more bad than him. But yeah, 3 out of 10 for Joe Gomez, man. Useless, absolutely useless all season, man. Right, now let's head into the centre backs. Let's start with Van Dijk. Van Dijk gets a 4. 4 out of 10 for Van Dijk. Worst season for Liverpool. Not the worst player not the worst player of the season, but in terms of all the season he had for Liverpool, this season has been his worst season. 4. I'm sorry, Van Dijk was he just wasn't on it today, man. I mean, not today. He just wasn't on it this season. But at the same time, you've got to blame the manager for keep on playing him. Keep on playing Van Dijk. Van Dijk, he ain't no god. I'm sorry, he ain't no god. He needs to be rested. But Klopp refuses to drop him, right? Even though he had stinkers after stinkers after, right? Klopp he keeps on playing him, and because of that, I thought he's been toilet this season. He's been poor. So I'm going to give him a 4. 4 out of 10, man. 4 out of 10. Matip, for me, worst defender of the season. Not worst player, worst defender. Matip gets a 3. Matip gets a 3, man. He gets a 3. Absolutely terrible this season. Right, last season he was our best player. Not best defender. He was our best player last season. And then all the way to this season, he's been one of the worst players. But I have to say that out of the defenders, he's been the worst defender. That's absolutely atrocious this season. Absolutely terrible. Right? And it's not good enough, man. Not good enough for him, man. So I'm going to give him a 3. Terrible, man. Not good enough. Who else played at centre back? Van Dijk played centre back. Konate, yeah, Konate. That's it. How could I forget Konate? For me, best defender, not best player, best defender for me. Konate gets a 7. I thought he was our best defender this season. He made some crucial tackles. I remember he made that brilliant tackle on, I think it was Gabriel Jesus. Right, or Jesus, Gabriel Jesus, absolutely tackled him very quickly, and he's been really good for us on Konate. There are certain moments that he needs to improve on, though, like certain things like his positioning. Sometimes he can be all over the place, but he will get better. He will get better. He's been our best defender. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for me. Who else played at centre back now? It was Van Dijk, Konate, Matip, Joe Gomez. I did rate Joe Gomez. I gave him a 3. Who else? Did Nat Phillips play? I don't think Nat Phillips played enough games, so I can't rate Nat Phillips. Nat Phillips, no, I can't rate him. I think that's all the centre backs, isn't it? I think that's all the centre backs. All right, let's move into left back. Robertson, 4. 4 for Robertson. Absolute terrible this season. He's been terrible. Like, absolutely abysmal this season. For the first time, I have to be honest, this is his worst season as well. with Van Dijk's worst season. Robertson he just wasn't on it this season, man. Too many inconsistent performances from him. And again, I have to blame the manager for keep on playing Robertson. Right, Robertson's having stinkers, and he still keeps on playing Robertson. I'm going to get onto the manager later on, but the manager's one of the main reasons why that these players have not been performing well enough in the high standard, right? And but as for Robertson, in terms of his performance this season, he gets a 4. 4 out of 10 for Robertson, man. He gets a 4. Tsimikas, for me, he's been pretty crap. He's been crap as well. I have to be honest. I'm going to give him a 4 as well. 4 for Tsimikas. Poor man. If the only thing that I do like about him this season is his crossing. His crossing has been better than Robertson, but in terms of his defending, he does lose. He does switches off quickly, and it's just not good enough, man. I've been very disappointed in Tsimikas this season, man. Absolutely nothing, man. So sorry, I'm going to have to give him a 4. Not good enough, man. Not good enough from Tsimikas, and he has to improve, man. I think that is all the defenders now. Yeah, I think that's all the defenders. Anyway, let's head into midfield. The DMs. Let's start with the DMs. Fabinho, second worst player for me. He gets a 3. He stepped up a little bit for the last 6 games in the Premier League, but before that, not good enough, man. Not good enough for Fabinho, right? Not good enough. I'm sorry, Fabinho, but you haven't been good enough this season, right? We need to get midfielders in, man, this summer, desperately, man. So yeah, Fabinho, 3 out of 10 for you, mate. What did you do for the entire season, apart from the last 6 games of the league? Before that, you have been terrible this season. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not. I'm being honest, man. Toilet. He's been toilet this season, man. So, yeah, 3 out of 10, man. He gets a 3. Not good enough for Fabinho, man. Besetic. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. Or 7. Should I give him a 7? Besetic has played well for us, Besetic. Maybe 7 is a little bit too high for. No, you know what? I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He's been good for. You know what? No. You know what? No, I'm going to give him a 7. 7 is about right. He can't get an 8 from me though. He can't get an 8 from me. 7 is more realistic. I thought he done well for us, man. So yeah, Besetic, I'm going to give him a 7. Who else played as a DM? I think that is it, isn't it? I think that's it. Right, central midfielders now. This is when it's going to get heated up now. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. This is when it's going to get heated. Jordan Henderson. Jordan freaking Henderson. The captain for our team. Henderson, you're getting a 1. Worst player of the season. Don't care what anyone says. By far, he has been our worst player of the season. Henderson is shockingly terrible. I'm sorry. He's terrible. I'm sorry. He is not good enough for Liverpool. One. He's getting a 1 out of 10. The lowest rating for a player for a long, long time for the entire season. And he's getting a 1. He gets a 1. Absolutely atrocious. Every time he loses the ball, he doesn't concentrate. Even if he plays as a DM, he doesn't focus. And then when he does track the man, right, you don't flipping stay away from the opposition player about 30 yards away. You stay close to him. And then when the opposition player receives the ball, then you tackle him. Then you pressurize him. But Henderson just runs like a headless chicken without actually doing anything. Like Henderson this season, I'm sorry, worst season as a captain at our club. I'm sorry, shocking. And we had some shocking poor performances, right? But Henderson, for this season, Henderson has been the worst player of the season. I'm sorry, Henderson's been absolutely abysmal, absolutely abysmal. I'm sorry, right? And he should be one of the first, should be sold. But Klopp is not going to get rid of him because of sentiment. Sentiment gets in our way. It's because of sentiment. It's because of loyalty. It's because of flipping favoritism. And that gets me mad, man. Henderson this season should be shipped out after this season, after the performances he had this season. Not good enough from Henderson. I'm sorry. Terrible. He's been shocking. But Klopp is still going to play him. And if he does play him for the lot of games, I want the manager gone. Right? I'm not even joking. Right? Henderson should not be flipping playing anymore. You can see the decline in him. You can see him declining. Right? We need to get midfielders in to revolutionize our midfield. Right? And I'm sorry, Henderson just ain't it, man. He's been absolutely toilet all season. Absolutely toilet. So, yeah. As for the rating, I'm giving them 1. I'm giving him a 1. Terrible. Absolutely shambolic. Not good enough, man. Not good enough. And we need an upgrade, man. We need an upgrade. Right, let's move on. Thiago. I'm going to give him a 5. 5, 6. He can't get higher than a 6. No, you know what? Thiago, 5. 5 for Thiago. For me, this is his worst season out of the season that he had for Liverpool. This is his worst season. But I wouldn't say he's been that bad. So Thiago gets a 5. Elliot, I'm going to give Elliot a 5. Nothing special. I have to be honest. Nothing special. Apart from the Man City game, I thought he was brilliant against Manchester City at home. But nothing special from the kid, man. Nothing special. I have to be honest. I'm going to give him a 5. Carvalho I think he only played 1 game. No, he played 2 games, but both of them from the substitute bench. And again, I can't rate Carvalho. Didn't play enough games because of lack of rotation, man. There's so many times that we should have played him as a 10, but we didn't do it. And that's what I'm going to get on the manager later on anyway. I'm going to get on the manager. But Carvalho, he doesn't get a rating from me. Wouldn't be fair to rate him. Who else played in that midfield? Curtis Jones. Apart from the long run that he had, the end of I think the last 8 games or 6 games, he has been toilet. He's been toilet all season. Or should I say the majority of the season. But for the last 6 games, he has stepped up. But it does that. I'm not going to give him a pass for this last 6 games. I'm sorry, not good enough, man. he gets a free. He gets a free. This is going to be controversial, but I'm going to give him a free. If he didn't have a good if he didn't step up in the last 16, I would have given him a 2. No, free. Free for Curtis Jones. Not good enough from Curtis Jones, man. Not good enough. I would give him a 3. I gave him a 3, man. Not good enough. Who else played in midfield? Arthur Melo, I can't rate him. Arthur Melo, I can't rate him. Who else played in midfield now? Oh yeah, Milner. Most of the time he played as a right back. James Milner, 4. 4 for James Milner. 4. 4 for James Milner, man. He gets a 4. Who else? Any more midfielders? I'm just trying to remember. Naby Keita, another one. Naby Keita hardly played any games. I can't remember Naby Keita played enough games though. Again, I don't think I should rate him. It wouldn't be fair on Naby Keita. Oxlade-Chamberlain, again, I can't rate him either. Not enough games, so I'm not going to give him a rating. Yeah, I think that's it. Like those are the midfielders that I rated. Now let's head into the forwards. So, let's start with Salah. Salah 7. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I think he scored 30 goals this season. He scored 30 goals, but I didn't think he had a good season. So many times that he keeps on giving the ball away. His performances hasn't been that good. But he has scored 30 goals, so 7, only going to give him a 7. He's not getting higher than that. 7 out of 10 for Mohamed Salah. Next, Darwin Núñez. I'm going to give him a 6. 6 for Darwin Núñez, man. I didn't think I just didn't think he was above average, but he hasn't been spectacular this season. 6 out of 10 for Darwin Núñez for me. Roberto Firmino, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Firmino. You know what? This has been his best season for a long time in terms of like performances. The only season that he had a better season is the 2017-18 season. I thought he was remarkable that season. I think he scored 26 goals that year. And I think this season has been his second best season. And fair play to Firmino. And by the way, Firmino is going to leave our club. So you know what? Fair play to Firmino, man. We all love you, man. The only problem that I have with Firmino that I wish he scored a lot more goals than, I think it's 110 goals he scored. I wish he scored more goals than that though. Because technically, I can't say nothing about his technical ability. I can't say anything. But it's just his goal scoring ability. It's just not the greatest. There's better players who lose to play for us at a better conversion rate. But in terms of Firmino's technical ability, I can't say anything to him. The guy is flipping clear. He's pretty much the most intelligent footballer in terms of technical ability. Maybe he's up there with Thiago. But Firmino, man, what a player, man. What a player. And I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for this season. 8 out of 10 for Firmino. Next, Cody Gakpo. I'm going to give him... It's between a 6 or 7. I'm going to give him a 6. 6 out of 10 for Cody Gakpo. He's been all right. The Man United game, that was his best performance against Manchester United at home when we battered Man United 7-0. But he had some good performances for the last about 5 games. But apart from that, I just don't think he's been that effective. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Give him a 6. Luis Diaz, 5. 5 for Luis Diaz. Can't give him any higher than that. Jota, as soon as he came on, he did change the game. The certain game, even the Tottenham game, we were 3-0 up, and then we conceded 3 goals, and then he scored the winner. I'm going to give him a 6 for this season. Because don't forget, he was injured for a lot of the season. And I can't give him the best player if he hasn't played for the whole season or the majority of the season. So I'm going to give Diogo Jota a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Next, Ben Doak. No, I'm not going to give him a rating. And Stewart, I'm not going to give him a rating either. Yeah, I think I have done all the players. Now let's head in to the management. Let's head into the manager, the assistant manager. Let's head into them. So let's start with the assistant manager. Sorry, assistant manager, you're getting a 2. Pep Lijnders, you're getting a 2. Sorry, not good enough from Pep Lijnders, man. Pep Lijnders gets a 2. Not good enough. And he needs to step up. Not good enough. As for Jurgen Klopp gets a 2 as well. Not good enough from the manager. Tactically, he's been absolutely shambolic this season, right? Start 11s, substitutions, decision making, on and off the pitch, substitutions, tactics, all that. Got a lot of these things wrong this season. And I'm sorry, Jurgen Klopp, his job should be on the line, right? It's not good enough, right? For starters, he denied to get a midfielder in last summer. That's starting off the downfall. That started it off. Because he denied to get a midfielder. Yes, FSG are the problem. But Klopp did deny to get a midfielder in at the time. And now we had a shambolic season. Right? And he's part of the reason why we are in 5th place. No trophies, got knocked out in the Champions League early, got knocked out in the 2 domestic cups early. It's just not good enough. And I'm sorry, Jurgen Klopp has to step up this season, or he's going to get himself sacked. I'm sorry, it's not good enough for Liverpool. Stop with this sentiment nonsense and flipping be ruthless like Pep. Pep Guardiola got rid of players who are quality at the time. Their former captain, what's his name? Vincent Kompany. He still got rid of Vincent Kompany because in Pep Guardiola's mind, right, Vincent Kompany wasn't good enough for Man City anymore. David Silva, Sergio Aguero, Fernandinho, right? All of these players leaving. for them, for leaving them. I mean, right? All of these players leaving them. Right, this season it looks like they're gonna get rid of Gundogan. They're gonna get rid of him, possibly Bernardo Silva, possibly Riyad Mahrez. Like they're getting rid of the players who are being sick for them, but Pep Guardiola doesn't want them anymore because he thinks that these players can't reach the highest standard anymore. And that's what I'm talking. That is how ruthless Pep Guardiola is, right? Klopp needs to do the same. And to be honest with you, the four players who already left this club: Milner, Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Firmino, right? All of them's been the right decision because we just need to move them on. The one player that I would have kept for a little bit of while is Firmino. Because if I would have loved to see Firmino play as a number 10, you know. I would have loved him to play. I would have loved to see Firmino as a number 10. But he never played him as a number 10. And that is and if you don't want to play him as a number 10, then I'm sorry, I just don't think the false nine it's not gonna work for him anymore. And also he's keep on getting injured. So for me, it is the right decision to get rid of Firmino, right? But it's not just Firmino; it's other players as well. And Milner, Naby Keita, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, all right decisions in my opinion. All right decisions, right? But as for the whole season, Jurgen Klopp, I'm sorry, you're getting a 2. Not good enough, man. And he needs to step up this season. Not good enough. Right, let's rate the actual season. 2. 2 for the entire season. Not in the Champions League by Real Madrid, and we got humiliated in those 2 games. We lost 6-2 on aggregate to Real Madrid. We lost to Man City in the League Cup final. Not the League Cup final. No, we didn't win to the League Cup final. We lost to them in the 4th round or 3rd round, I think. One of those 2 rounds. But we lost to Man City, right, in the League Cup. And then we lost to Brighton at their place, at the FA Cup, when we lost 2-1 to them. Absolutely shambolic, man. Shambles, man. So yeah, the season gets a 2. Now there's gonna be a couple of things that I need to mention now, and then I'm gonna go. Let's start with the best. What is my best moment of the season? For me, best moment of the season, Firmino leaves. Firmino has a happy farewell. That is the best moment of the season. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be during the game. It could be out. It could be off the pitch, right? And you know what? That when you see Firmino was crying and the fans were singing the chants and all that. You know what? That was the best moment for me for this season. Worst moment of the season. It could be anything. Worst moment of the season is when, for me, the worst moment of the season is the season was even started. For me, the worst moment of the season is when Jurgen Klopp said that we didn't need a midfielder. That was, for me, that is the worst moment of the season. Not good enough, man. That moment. I will never look at that. I will never ever be happy with that. Absolutely shambolic, man. Not good enough. And I'm sorry, not good enough from Jurgen Klopp, man. He said that we don't need a midfielder, and that really ticked me off that day, man. Really ticked me off. Right, let's head in now. The best game of the season. For me, the best game of the season, when we smacked up Man United. It could be Man City 1-0 when we beat them 1-0, but for me, it's the 7-0 win. When we beat Manchester United 7-0. Man, I was getting happy. I was like, oh, we're going to get into the top four this season after that. And then we lost to Bournemouth after that, 1-0 at their place. Absolutely shambolic. But the best game that I watched this season, the 7-0 win against Manchester United. The worst game I have watched this season, sorry, it's gonna have to be the Brighton game in the Premier League when we lost 3-0. And to be honest, and when I didn't watch the game again, but when I've gone back to the clips, yeah, like the fans' reaction and stuff like that, for me, that has been the worst game I watched this season. Yes, the Napoli 4-1 when we lost 4-1 to Napoli, right? We lost 4-1 to Napoli. But at least Napoli are a brilliant team. But then again, yeah, at least Napoli are they actually won the league. So, but to actually get battered by Brighton 3-0 in the Premier League, I'm sorry, that game was the worst game I watched this season. For me, and you know what? It's not even just for this season. I think that game has been the worst performance from our players I've ever seen. Even the 6-1 defeat to Stoke City under Brendan Rodgers, I still think we created more chances in that game. We created more chances in that game than the Brighton game this season. Even the 7-2 defeat to Aston Villa 2 years ago. We were just so crap defensively that day. But we still created chances in that game. Right? We still created enough chances in that game. But we just got smacked up by Aston Villa. The 6-1 against Stoke City was not as bad. People saying that is the result is yes, it was terrible. But the performances was not as bad as the flipping Brighton game. The Brighton game was even worse. We looked terrified in that game. We couldn't get out our half, and we allowed Brighton to dominate us, and they slapped us 3-0. For me, that game is the worst game I ever seen in my life. Shocking. We hardly had chances. We sat back, and we allowed Brighton to dominate us and slapped us up 3-0. Absolutely shocking. Shocking. Not good enough. And I don't want to see those kind of flipping crappy performances again. Right? That performance against Brighton was shambolic. Terrible. Right? Not good enough. So yeah, worst game of the season has to be the Brighton game. It could be the Napoli game when we lost 4-1, but no, I think the Brighton game's even. I thought that game was even worse. We couldn't get out our half in that game. Shocking, man. So yeah, worst game of the season, the Brighton game away from home when we lost 3-0 to them. Shocking. And yes, and that is it, guys, man. That is the end of my ratings for the players, the manager, the season, and also the moments, different moment. Has been my best moment of the season, or what's been the worst moment of the season. I've done all of that today, and I just don't. And after this season, we will never ever going to look at that sound this season ever again. Right, we were never going to be happy with this season again. Thank goodness the season's flipping over, man. Thank goodness for that. Anyway, that's it, guys, man. I'm done with the stream today. So yeah, I'm not too sure when I'm going to be back, but yeah, that's it, guys, man. That's it. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.